The breach ran through people. Tunnels can be poured, rails can be welded, but a signed waiver on a maintenance window and a silent pre-clear at a dock did the real lifting. Systems treated those actions as routine, and routine became the cover. If debt and silence can buy a clean lane, you push for audits that read patterns, not forms. Demand worker protections that blunt the next loan. Expect real-time checks that cross airport, border, and warehouse logs without waiting for quarterly reviews. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. More raids will land. The test is simple. Does the next architect find a maintenance gap, or do we close it first? Why did a routine inspection in Traverse City pull 620 agents out of bed before sunrise? Because one container didn't fit the script. At 2:30 a.m., Operation Northern Breakwater moved from a flag on a manifest to a full-scale two-front breach. The clock started when a container marked for expedited entry raised enough concern to hold it on the pier while the command post spun up. Within minutes, teams split. One stack hit the waterfront warehouse tied to the fast lane vessels. The other rolled toward the Paskii storage tower. Both locations went live at once, so no one could warn the other. For months, odd movements had blended into normal lake traffic. Vessels slipped through with fast lane clearances that cut checks on crew and cargo to a few keystrokes. Coast Guard approvals stamped green without the usual back and forth. Night maintenance lights appeared along dark shoreline stretches, then went dead as soon as a boat cleared the inlet. It all looked like routine work, until the timing lined up a little too perfectly, week after week, on the same nights. The first breach came at the warehouse. Charges punched a reinforced bay door off its hinges, and an armored vehicle locked the dock road so nothing rolled out. Drone feeds painted the floor in thermal, identifying warm bodies behind stacked pallets and cold spaces that might hide voids. Teams flowed through lanes cut by forklifts, tossing flashbangs to keep movement controlled and fast. The unit's layout matched a receiving hub. Clear lanes to the water, wrapping line marks on the concrete, and racking built to hold container loads that never lingered. The trigger cargo told the story. Inside the expedited container, 200 kilograms of fentanyl, 500 kilograms of methamphetamine, and 62 kilograms of heroin packed tight for quick moves. Cash, $2.3 million, sat in waterproof cases with silica packs. 14 restricted access cards lay in a sealed pouch, and a loaded 9mm rode inside a tool bag. Tucked under a binder, plans for an inland fuel pipeline expansion with notes on valve points and right-of-way work. The contents were organized for speed, narcotics for distribution, money for turnover, access for movement, and a roadmap for growth. The second target at Paskii fought back with design, not just bodies. A fortified 3-story unit used signal dampeners to mute radios and phones inside. Hidden rooms lined with insulated panels held maritime gear, AIS spoofers, spare transponders, handhelds programmed for marina channels, and cameras set for long, fixed stares at slips and fuel docks. The lower levels were reinforced, and the entrance was barricaded. An armored vehicle forced the door, and the breach team worked floor to floor until the rooms were cleared. Interdictions scale fast when thresholds stack. Quantity triggers one level. Multiple narcotics push it higher, because that means separate supply lines and customer streams. Add cash and volume, and agents see a turnover point, not storage. Fold in access cards tied to restricted sites, and it reads as a distribution hub with control over movement, not a one-off run. That combination moves an operation from a simple seizure to a network takedown. With the access cards in hand and vessel logs pulled, the map widened. 41 sites across northern Michigan linked up like nodes on a circuit. Boathouses with fresh locks, storage yards outside town, cabins leased under short terms, and a string of abandoned motels close to 2-lane highways. Entries in the cards matched door systems at marinas and fenced lots. Logs matched night dockings at the bay and quick turnouts before dawn. Each site served a function: receiving, staging, or short hold, and the timestamps stitched them together. What agents pulled from the floors and crates confirmed a synchronized maritime network designed to move product on a clock. That justified a statewide surge and opened the one front that keeps every network alive. With the docks quiet and the keys collected, the teams shifted focus to the cash flow, because without clean money, even a busy pier starts to dry up fast. How do weekly intakes of $4.7 million slide through casino floors without setting off alarms? They don't look like spikes. They look like weekends. They land when crowds are thick, tables are full, and compliance teams expect volatility. By Monday, the ledgers read like a strong tourist run, not a wash cycle. Dana Witford built that rhythm over 4 years. She reworked shipping schedules, carved 4 off-book receiving zones into the shoreline, and locked in a quick, clear lane with approvals greased ahead of time. The channel stayed open because some people were paid to keep it open. Ships arrived when dock hands changed shifts, containers moved during overnight maintenance, and paperwork hit desks after supervisors logged off. Each tweak took a minute from the clock. Together, the minutes made a lane. The money still had to move clean. Casinos run tight AML rules, but rules watch for patterns that look wrong. Whitford made the loop look normal. Seasonal tourism brought crowds north in waves, and gaming floors pulsed on Fridays and Saturdays. The laundering flow mirrored those cycles. Cash in, chips out, redemptions in trickles, not gushers, across peak hours. By the time compliance analysts pulled reports, every number sat inside a range they already knew from summers past. Tier 1 ran from port to casino. Couriers with clean fronts handled cash and chips, some listed as recovery hires on vendor payrolls. They walked money into 4 properties using chip buys under reporting thresholds, broken into dozens of small transactions. They rotated tables, switched pits, and took structured breaks so one face never held too much exposure. Dealers saw routine action. Floor bosses saw steady play. The drop boxes filled like a busy night, not like a dump. Tier 2 bridged the casino floors to Mexico. Redemptions went through windows where documentation ran light and managers had discretion to approve conversions. Chips became checks. Checks became transfers. Funds jumped from U.S. business accounts into crypto rails and remittance channels in layers that kept each hop under friction points. By the time the money crossed south, it looked like vendor payments and player winnings, not courier cash. Tier 3 brought the funds home as clean invoices. Wire transfers returned to Michigan as payments to Shell consultancies, Great Lakes Marine Advisors and Harbor Efficiency Group, on scopes tied to maritime operations. Invoices matched vessel arrivals. Calendar invites matched Coast Guard log entries. The timing coverage created a paper trail that said, Marine Efficiency Audit, when the work was distribution. Agents traced the loop by building the ledger in reverse. They ran link analysis on 37 consulting accounts and plotted deposits against vessel logs. KYC profiles that should have matched small local firms showed anomalies. New directors added offshore, fresh addresses tied to virtual offices, and activity spikes on nights with bay dockings. Chip purchase and redemption data showed velocity patterns that rose and fell in 4 tight windows per week. CTR and SAR backtracing pulled compliance notes that never met thresholds alone, but clustered into a pattern when stacked. Beneficial ownership mapping bridged nominees to the same handful of phones and IP addresses. Graph models exposed a weekly cadence at $4.7 million, nearly flat across 2 quarters. 4 casinos posted unusual chip conversions with late-night approvals that lined up across counties. 3 Coast Guard officers drew steady retainers. $12,000 a month spread in service contracts that referenced harbor readiness. 2 shoreline developers signed leases on cabins that later stocked pallets, radios, and fuel mix. Every thread pulled toward the same clock. Treat port clearances, casino chip flows, and Shell consultancies as one circuit. Demand audits that correlate shipping logs with chip redemption windows and consultant invoices. Push for real-time cross-checks, not quarterly reviews. Require anomaly alerts on synchronized spikes across docks, floors, and wires. If a quiet bay can wash $163 million by calendar, The next breach won't start at a door. It starts where timing hides in plain sight, and the ledger keeps perfect time.